Dear seeker, before we begin, I invite you to slow down, just for a moment. Take a deep breath in, and gently let it go. Notice where you are right now. Not your plans, not your worries, just this present moment. Because often, without realizing it, we are constantly running. Running toward success, toward validation, toward something we believe will finally make us feel complete. And yet, even after achieving so much, there remains a quiet restlessness within the heart. Have you felt it too? A subtle emptiness, a question that lingers in silence. Is this all there is? More than 2,500 years ago, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama asked the very same question. Surrounded by luxury, comfort, and everything one could desire, he still felt a deep dissatisfaction, one that no external achievement could fill. So he did something extraordinary. He walked away from it all. Not out of rejection, but out of a deep longing to understand life itself. He sat beneath a tree in stillness and determination, seeking not power, not wealth, but truth. And what he discovered transformed not only his life, but the lives of millions across centuries. He became known as Gautam Buddha, the Awakened One. Today his teachings remain as relevant as ever. Not because they belong to a religion, but because they speak directly to the human experience, your experience. In this video, I will gently guide you through 7 life-changing teachings of Buddha. These are not ideas to simply listen to, but insights to reflect upon, to question, and perhaps, to live. So stay with me, dear seeker. Let this not be just another video you watch. Let it be a moment where you begin to truly see. Dear seeker, let us begin with a truth that is both simple and deeply unsettling, yet profoundly liberating when understood. Buddha's first teaching was this: life as we experience it contains suffering. In the ancient language of Pali, this is called dukkha. But it is important to understand, dukkha is not limited to obvious pain or hardship. It is far more subtle. It is the quiet dissatisfaction that lingers even in moments of success. It is the anxiety of losing what you love. It is the discomfort of not getting what you desire. Even pleasure, when closely observed, carries within it a seed of unease, because we know it will not last. Think about it gently. A joyful moment passes, and we wish it could stay. A relationship changes, and we feel the ache of loss. A goal is achieved, and soon, a new desire takes its place. This cycle continues endlessly. Buddha did not present this truth to make us feel discouraged. He offered it as a mirror, so we can see reality clearly without illusion. Because often we spend our lives trying to escape discomfort, chasing happiness as if it were something permanent. But in doing so, we overlook the deeper nature of existence itself. Life includes aging, illness, separation, and uncertainty. These are not exceptions, they are part of the human journey. And when we resist them, suffering intensifies. But when we begin to understand them, something shifts. There is a quiet acceptance that arises, not of defeat but of clarity. So reflect, dear seeker. Are you suffering because life is imperfect, or because you expect it to be otherwise? In this understanding lies the very first step toward freedom. Dear seeker, now that we have gently understood the nature of suffering, let us take a step deeper into its cause. Buddha asked a question that few dare to explore with honesty. Why do we suffer? And his answer was both simple and transformative. We suffer because we cling. We cling to desires, to expectations, to identities, to people and outcomes. We hold on to the idea that certain things must happen, or must remain the same for us to feel complete. This clinging is known as tanha, craving. It appears in many forms. The desire for pleasure, the desire for recognition, the desire for control, even the desire to avoid pain. At first, desire may seem harmless, even necessary. But when desire turns into attachment, it binds us. Because the reality of life is this: everything changes. And when what we cling to begins to shift, as it always does, we experience discomfort, frustration, even despair. Imagine holding sand tightly in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips away. In the same way, the more strongly we try to hold on to people, moments, or outcomes, the more we suffer when they inevitably change. This does not mean you must reject life or suppress your wishes. Rather, Buddha invites you to observe your attachments with awareness. To ask gently, backhand index pointing right, am I enjoying this? Or am I depending on it for my happiness? Because dependence creates fear. Fear of loss. Fear of change. fear of uncertainty. And where there is fear, there is suffering. But when you begin to loosen this grip just a little, you create space. Space for acceptance. Space for peace. So reflect, dear seeker. What are you holding on to so tightly that it is quietly causing your pain? In seeing this clearly, you take the second step toward liberation. Dear seeker, having seen the nature of suffering and gently understood its cause, a question naturally arises within the heart. Is there a way out? Buddha's answer is not uncertain, not philosophical, but deeply assuring. Yes, there is an end to suffering. This is the third noble truth. But to understand this, we must shift our perspective. Often, we try to solve suffering by changing the outside world, seeking better circumstances, better relationships, better outcomes. And while these may bring temporary comfort, they do not address the root. Because suffering does not arise from the world itself. It arises from our attachment to it. So the end of suffering does not mean escaping life. It means transforming how we relate to it. When craving begins to dissolve. When attachment loosens its grip. When the mind no longer insists that reality must be a certain way. A deep peace begins to emerge. This state is called Nirvana. Not a distant heaven, not a mystical reward, but a profound inner freedom. A state where the fires of desire, aversion, and ignorance are gently extinguished. Imagine, dear seeker, living without the constant pull of, I need this to be happy. Without the fear of losing what you have. Without the endless cycle of wanting and resisting. What remains is not emptiness, but clarity, stillness, contentment, like a flame that has finally come to rest. Buddha did not ask you to believe in this state blindly. He invited you to experience it, step by step, through awareness and understanding. Even in your own life, you may have noticed, in moments when you let go, even briefly, there is a sense of lightness, of relief. That is a glimpse. A small reflection of what becomes possible when letting go becomes natural. So reflect gently, dear seeker. Backhand index pointing right. If holding on creates suffering, what might become possible if you truly let go? In this question lies the doorway to peace. Dear seeker, by now you may be wondering, if suffering can end, how do I actually reach that state? Buddha, in his compassion, did not leave this as a mystery. He offered a clear, practical path. Not based on belief but on disciplined living and awareness. This is known as the Noble Eightfold Path. Think of it not as a rigid set of rules, but as a gentle guide, a way to align your thoughts, actions, and intentions with clarity and balance. The path unfolds in 8 interconnected aspects. Right understanding, seeing life as it truly is, beyond illusions. Right intention, cultivating thoughts of kindness, renunciation, and non-harm. Right speech, speaking truthfully, gently, and meaningfully. Right action, acting ethically with respect for all living beings. Right livelihood, earning a living without causing harm. Right effort, consistently guiding the mind toward what is wholesome. Right mindfulness, being fully present, aware of each moment. Right concentration, developing deep focus and inner stillness. These are not steps to be completed one after another. They are qualities to be cultivated together, gradually, in your daily life. Buddha called this the middle way, a path that avoids extremes. Not indulgence, not harsh self-denial, but a balanced, conscious way of living. Because true transformation does not come from sudden change. It comes from small, consistent shifts in how you think, speak, and act. Perhaps you begin with awareness of your words, or with a moment of mindfulness in your day, or by choosing kindness even when it is difficult. Each small step shapes the mind. And over time, the mind shapes your entire experience of life. So reflect, dear seeker. Not, where am I going? But, how am I walking this path right now? Because the path itself is the destination. And every mindful step you take is already a movement toward freedom. Dear seeker, let us now contemplate a truth that is always present, yet often unnoticed. Everything is changing. This teaching is known as anicca, impermanence. At first it may sound obvious. After all, we see change everywhere. In the passing of time, in the shifting of seasons, in the aging of the body. But Buddha invites us to look deeper. Not just to understand impermanence intellectually, but to truly see it in every moment of our experience. A thought arises and passes. An emotion appears and fades. A situation forms and transforms. Nothing stays. And yet, dear seeker, the mind behaves as if things should remain the same. We hold on to moments of happiness, wishing they would last forever. We resist moments of pain, hoping they will disappear instantly. In both cases, we are in conflict with reality. And this conflict creates suffering. Imagine standing in a river trying to hold on to the flowing water. No matter how hard you try, it slips through your hands. Life is just like that river, constantly moving, never still. When we try to control it, we feel frustrated. But when we understand its nature, something shifts within us. We begin to flow with it. Impermanence, when resisted, feels like loss. But when understood, it becomes freedom. Because if everything changes, then pain will also pass. Difficult moments will not stay forever. Even the heaviest emotions will eventually dissolve. This realization brings a quiet sense of ease. You no longer cling as tightly. You no longer fear change as deeply. Instead, you begin to appreciate each moment for what it is, temporary yet meaningful. So reflect gently, dear seeker. If everything in your life is constantly changing, why hold on as if it were permanent? In accepting impermanence, you do not lose anything. You gain the ability to truly live without fear of change. Dear seeker, we now arrive at one of the most subtle and transformative teachings of Buddha. It may challenge how you see yourself, and even how you understand your own existence. Buddha taught, there is no fixed, permanent self. This teaching is known as anatta, or no self. At first, this may feel confusing, even unsettling, because from a young age we are taught to believe in a solid identity. I am this person, with this name, these thoughts, these beliefs. But Buddha invites you to observe more carefully. What you call I, is it truly stable? Your body changes over time. Your thoughts shift from moment to moment. Your emotions rise and fall like waves. Even your beliefs evolve with experience. So which of these is the real you? If everything you identify with is constantly changing, can it truly be called a permanent self? Buddha explained that what we consider this self is actually a collection of 5 processes: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. These are always in motion, never fixed. Like a flame that appears continuous, but is in fact changing every second. The sense of I is not an illusion to be feared. It is a process to be understood. And when this understanding deepens, something remarkable happens. The burden of constantly protecting and defending a rigid identity begins to dissolve. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself, to hold on to labels, to fear judgment in the same way, because there is no fixed self to protect. Only awareness, experiencing life as it unfolds. This does not make life meaningless. It makes it lighter, more open, more free. So reflect gently, dear seeker. If the self is always changing, what are you truly holding on to? In seeing through this illusion even partially, you take a profound step toward inner freedom. Dear seeker, as we come to the end of this journey, take a quiet moment and simply notice how you feel. Not as an analysis, not as a conclusion, but as a gentle awareness of your inner state. The teachings of Gautam Buddha are not meant to remain as words or ideas to admire from a distance. They are invitations to look within, to question deeply, and to live with greater clarity and compassion. You do not need to understand everything at once. In fact, this path is not about sudden transformation. It is about small, sincere steps. Perhaps today you become a little more aware of your thoughts. Perhaps you notice one attachment and gently loosen your grip. Perhaps you pause even for a few seconds and truly experience the present moment. That is enough, because every moment of awareness is a step toward freedom. Remember, dear seeker, peace is not something you need to chase. It is not hidden in achievements, possessions, or approval from the world. It is already within you, waiting to be uncovered. And the more you observe, the more you let go, the more you understand. The closer you come to that quiet, unshakable stillness. If this journey resonated with you, you may continue exploring these teachings, not just through videos but through your own direct experience. And if you feel that someone else may benefit from this understanding, share it with them. Sometimes, a single insight can change the direction of a life. Until we meet again, dear seeker, walk gently, stay aware, and remember, the path is not somewhere you reach one day. It is something you live in every step you take.